My name is Outsider2522 and welcome to another Idleon video. Today we're going to be looking into the third skill in World 6, Summoning. It's a bit of a weird skill. I don't think it's as complicated as some of the others. Got some good strats for you. Let's talk about it. And before I say too much, I've got to do my usual plug. Sorry if you hate to hear it, but if you have got any questions whatsoever, please feel free to join the Discord in the link below. As always, I'd love to hear from you in the video, so please like, share and subscribe. We're over 1,000 people. It's huge for me. I still can't go over the fact that you guys did this. You're amazing. Let's keep this channel growing. Okay, so summoning. What is it? It very much is what it says. You summon units and you try to win. The way this works is that in World 6, if you go over towards the portal that leads into the maps where you can fight mobs, just before it there will be a white pillar and what looks like a chessboard. If you go there, the chessboard will allow you to fight matches. At the minute, we've got 5 different levels unlocked. So we've got white, green, yellow, blue, and purple. You can unlock different levels through the pillars. So if you go into the white pillar, for example, it will bring up a massive menu. Inside there, we've got different abilities. Now, I won't go through all of them because some of them are repeated. Things like mana generation appear in multiple different ones, but I'm going to highlight some of the important ones. So in the white table, and this goes for all of them, that you can get essence gain, okay? There's 2 types of essence gain. One is based on your summoning level. One is based on how many fights you've won, how many battles you've won in that colour group. White works for all colour groups, all the rest are colour specific. The ones to note in the whiteboard is the familiar one. This is what's going to give you XP. It resets every 3 days. That means that the cost decreases, but the number of familiars you have keeps constant. Okay, so every 3 days, make sure you're buying more familiars. You will need a lot of them to gain good XP rates. The other notable one is familiar merging. What this does is that if you get 3 slime familiars, so the ones which you summon for XP, they will combine into a Vrumbi, which is the green familiar. Okay. 4 of those will combine into a Bloomy, which is the yellow one. 5 combine into a Tonka, which is the blue one. And 6 should combine into a Regulus. Okay? That's kind of the way it goes. That's how your XP rate's going to go. But remember, you're limited by time. So this is a time-gated skill when it comes to the XP. The next set of skills you're going to pick up is the green one. So there's an ability in the white zone that's going to unlock green summoning. In there you'll gain access to the Vrumbi, which is a new type of slime. It moves quicker, has the ability to dodge, so it doesn't take damage, which means it lasts longer in battles. The other one to notice in here is spiked placement. What that does is wherever you click, it will do damage to all of the enemy summoned units in that area. This means you can click anywhere on the map where enemies are, and we can use that later on to our advantage. The other one that's good in here is starting mana for real. Okay, what this is going to do is at the beginning of the map you're going to have mana to begin with. More mana you've got at the beginning, the quicker you can start summoning things. And the last one that's really important in the green is mana overflow. What this is going to do is it's going to allow you to increase your mana stores. You will need this for certain quests later on. We'll talk about that in a bit. After the green, you get the ability to unlock. With the greens, you get the ability to unlock yellow summoning. Yellow summoning brings into a Bloomy summoning unit. What this does is it increases mana generation while it's active on the field. So you kind of want to defend these. They stay at the back. They only go forward a very few steps and then they just chill. But they give massive mana generation, which becomes really important. The other important one is Luck of the Draw. That's going to give you more chance to get a special unit. So things like Vrumbis, Bloomies, that kind of thing, not just your normal slimes. The other one is Slime Cell Split. That's going to give you a chance to spawn an extra duplicate slime whenever you spawn a unit. Okay, the maximum is a 30% chance, so 1 in 3 slimes will basically multiply into 2. Fantastic. You get redraw here, and what this does is it gives you the ability to discard your hand and summon a whole new hand for free. Okay, this can be very, very powerful if you find yourself drawing the wrong cards. Summoning is a bit RNG basis, so you need to be careful on that. Here's a very, very dependent one as to whether you want to get it. So another slot is available. This will unlock a card slot for you so you can have more cards in your hand. Some people like this because it means that a full hand gives you more mana generation. Other people don't, and the reason is because with less cards you can cycle through your hands quicker, which means if you've got bad cards you get rid of them a lot quicker. Just depends on personal perception. In the yellow summoning zone though, we can unlock blue summoning. With blue summoning comes another unit again, the Tonka. This is like a tank. It moves slowly but has high HP. Inside blue, we've got slime mitosis. This is going to again increase your chance to get a duplicate slime. It's another 30% of max, so you're going to get a 60% chance to get a double slime spawn. Very, very powerful. And the other one that's very, very noticeable in the blue is the jeweled cards. What this does is you'll see on the top of your cards a little diamond appears, a little jewel. These cards cost 3 times the mana but spawn 4 times the units. These are the cards that, depending on what you get and depending on how much they cost, you may want to redraw. Okay, if you get a jeweled Tonka, for example, a jeweled Regalis, for example, you might only need 64 mana. That's a big cost to be using on a single card. There's another slot available in the blue, again, depending on whether you want to have it or not. And that's kind of all that there is in there of note. Then you can unlock purple summoning. Purple summoning comes with the Regalis unit. This unit is a bit of a strange one. So he moves slowly across the board and summons slimes constantly. The higher his level, the quicker the slime generation. We also have an ability in here called familiar skipping. And what this does is when you summon a familiar for XP, there is a chance that instead of it being a normal slime, you will get a Vrumbi or even a Bloomy. Now, if, for example, you were to get a Vrumbi, that's the equivalent of 3 slimes. If you got a Bloomy, that's the equivalent of 12 slimes that you've just got for the cost of 1 pull. Okay, when you're going for your higher XP rates and there's a quest that needs you to have a Regalis going, this is going to be so important to get you there. The other cards of notice is the final card bonus. What this does is when you fully use a full hand, depending on the number of cards you use, you will get 1% mana per card at base. It goes up to 3 levels. I'm going to assume you get 3%. I'm only on the 2nd level at the moment, so I've got a 2% increase. And the other one that is a little bit different is that in here you can get a percentage increase to damage. Now I'm going to explain why this isn't as important in a minute, because there is one particular strategy that I'm going to recommend above all else. The ability to unlock the red summoning is here, however the cost is 1,000 million, so 1 billion purple summoning essence, and it also says that red summoning stone isn't available yet. So I don't know if you want to purchase that as like a preempt for the future, or if you'd rather spend your purple. For me, I'm going to spend my purple. When this comes in, I expect the cost to be dropped, but we'll see. Okay, so you start getting into summoning, you start leveling up your abilities, and you wonder, how do I get better? There are kind of 2 ways that I recommend going into any sort of match. The first one is a stall tactic. Now, the reason that you may want to stall is because there's an NPC called Sussy G. He's in one of the later maps. Let me go and find the name of the map. He's in the above the clouds where the leak spirits are. And what he's got is a load of quests that are related to basically making your life a little bit more annoying in summoning. But I think the idea was to teach the mechanics. So they will want you to do things like get 2,500 energy in a single match. The only way you're going to be able to do this is by stalling the match. How do we do this? Now, the first thing that is really, really important is making sure that your HP is higher than the attack level of the enemy. When you go into the battle screen, you can actually see all your stats in the top left-hand corner, all of their stats in the top right. If your heart number is bigger than their sword number, you can take a single hit and survive. This is really, really important, because what you need to do with stalling is basically try to keep the enemy in the middle zone. The reason we want to keep them in the middle is because that's how we can keep getting more and more regen, which gives us more and more points, and we can stall until we hit those targets that Sussy is using. Sussy's quests give massive bonuses. They are very, very good in terms of the amount of gold and food they drop and things like that, which will help with your beanstalks. So highly recommend doing them. Once you've stalled for long enough, one of them does have a mission to stall for 5 minutes. You should have way more than enough mana, and at that point you can absolutely decimate the enemy by just flooding them, okay? If anyone is old enough to remember the Zerg Rush tactic, then you're basically doing that, okay? You're just going to spawn as many things as you can and decimate the enemy. The other tactic, which I only recommend once you're up to the loitering around quest with Sussy G, and you only have the first thing left to do. The first thing is to get the Regalis unit in your base through Familiars, which, as I say, is going to take a while. If you have this available, you can go into the single lane rush tactic. Now, this is RNG based, but it is probably the quickest and easiest way to get through this content. What this relies on is mana regen. So you're going to want as much starting mana from the green summoning and as much mana regen as possible from all of the other summoning. They all have mana regen that you can purchase. With this, you will then pick whether you want to go the very, very top lane or the very, very bottom lane of summoning, and you will spam everything you can. If you pull a bad hand with high costs, you will redraw and you will carry on spamming. The idea is that if you hit one lane hard enough, even if a couple of enemies are there and they kill you in one hit, you get a knockback every time you hit them. And because you've got a constant stream of your summons, they will constantly knock back to the point that the enemy is past their line and you will flood them. Okay? This strategy was introduced to me by Hot Air. Mentioned him a few times. Fantastic mod. Great player to get information from. He was one of the alpha testers. It's been around for a long time. I don't see it changing. So this is the strat I would recommend. Now, the difference between going top lane and bottom lane is very, very simple. On bottom lane, if you do get a split summon using like the cell mitosis or something like that, they will stack on top of each other. However, if you go on the top lane, they will stack literally one on top of the other. They will not be one above the other, like with the bottom lane. They will be on top of each other, which means every time you hit an enemy, the other one can carry on straight away and hit the enemy again. The top lane is slightly more efficient. However, this strategy comes down to RNG, because if the enemy floods the top lane and you flooded the top lane, they're going to win because they're going to have so much more damage than you do. Let's talk about the potential rewards from this. I'm only going to mention the top rewards, okay? But there are a lot. They are extensive. They will increase your account by a ridiculous amount, so do not sleep on this skill. So the first one is you can get 20.11 times total damage. That is a phenomenal damage increase, okay? No matter where you're at, 20 times damage is going to be big. The next one, 25.57 times Jade gain. Again, huge increase to Jade. 3.55 times farming speed. Massive increase to a brand new skill. 11.47 times artifact find. This is going to help with those new sovereign artifacts and the 3 new artifacts that I mentioned before in the sneaking video. 13 lab connectivity range. This is going to help for all you dootless warriors out there. Lava has not forgotten about you. He has given you something that will make your life a little bit easier when connected across that lab. 10.74 times all essence gain. This is huge for essence. You are going to get 10 times more essence. Fantastic, okay? That means you can quicker get towards that top familiar, more XP rates. Great. 8.28 times sneak XP. Again, it's just more XP. You're going to go up those levels quicker, which means better sneak gains. 6.46 times sigil speed. Sigils have just added a new level to them. The ionized sigil, again, mentioned it in the sneaking video. This is going to help you get there much quicker. Sigils were historically very slow. 3.73 times farming XP. Free farming XP, great. 91% drop rate. Almost 1 extra drop rate from this reward system itself. That's obviously going to be multiplied by any drop rate multipliers you've got. Massive increase. 3.28 times crop evo chance. Again, better chance to get more crops, to get the next crop needed. That's going to increase your scientist. big gains. 27% AFK gains, more AFK gains, that's a win all around, right? More AFK means better gains. 227% skill XP. Huge for your V-Man. Mind you, to be honest, most classes will enjoy skill XP, especially with the new tier of tools. You may be like me, I'm not even high enough to actually use the latest crystal tools and things like that, so this is going to come in massively handy. 9.19 times construct speed. Nearly 10 times construction speed of what you've got at the minute. Okay, if you're familiar with Pancakes in the main Discord, this has supercharged his construction. 1.91 times skill efficiency. Bigger sample size, use that for logs, you know the drill by now. More atoms, more gains. 5.55 times cooking speed. With plates now going up to level 90, is it? Or is it level 80? Level 80, I think, with the new software and artifact and the 2 buffs from sneaking. So with level 80, they now cost more than ever. 5.55 times cooking speed is going to really, really help you to blitz through those new meal levels, unlock everything that you can. So that's kind of all there is to summoning. Okay, once you're done with your quests and stalling, just smash through things using the RNG top or bottom lane, whichever one you want to do. You should be able to get through it all. If you found this information useful in any way, shape or form, please feel free to like, share and subscribe. It really, really helps the channel to grow.